Thanks for joining me this Friday, the 7th of February. I'm Grady, market analyst with Bell Direct. This is our weekly market update and first reporting season video for February reporting season coverage. This week on the markets, we saw Trump's trade war discussions come to a sharp halt as tariffs between Mexico and the US and Canada and the US were placed on pause as negotiations between the nations begin. Trump did impose tariffs on China though, which came into effect on Tuesday, and saw China retaliate with tariffs of 10 to 15% on certain goods from the US. The full extent of tariff implications in Australia are yet to be known, and given tariff pauses are now in effect in some nations, we will likely not know the impact of tariffs on Australia until a month's time. Now onto the all-important reporting season front. We've seen some surprisingly strong results to kick off reporting season this early in February 2025. Prior to reporting season, the expectation on an earnings front across the board was for single-digit earnings growth amid tough operating conditions against a backdrop of inflationary pressures, labour shortages, economic instability, subdued demand and more. However, some results we've seen so far, it looks like we might have been surprised by the strength, and we might continue to be surprised by the strength of the general results this season. In the healthcare space, sleep apnea device specialist ResMed smashed expectations and quashed any speculations that a rise in weight loss injectables will deplete demand for sleep apnea devices, with the CEO even going as far as saying the two complement one another to deliver the best sleep quality possible through a new study currently underway between the both. ResMed reported revenue rose 10% to $1.3 billion in Q2 FY25. Gross margin improved 300 basis points to 58.6%, which is an incredible rise from the 50 basis point contraction reported in the prior corresponding period. ResMed also reported the company launched into India during the quarter. Tariffs in the US will provide tailwinds on a competitive front for ResMed, as two key competitors operate out of China and Mexico. And the company is using new generative AI, which is being used through ResMed's product Dawn, tapping into the personal health tracking service. So a very good result there for ResMed. Overall, investors welcomed the results, with shares in ResMed rallying on the day of the release. In the real estate space, REA Group's strong results this week were overshadowed by the retirement announcement of the company's CEO, Owen Wilson, after 10 years with REA and 6 years in the role of CEO. For the first half, though, REA reported revenue rose 20% to $873 million, EBITDA rose 22% to $535 million, net profit jumped 26% to $314 million, and the fully franked interim dividend rose 26% to $1.10 per share, while operating expenses also rose 18% to $338 million. The results were boosted by strong Australian and Indian markets. The results were surprisingly strong though, given the high interest rate environment in Australia throughout the first half of FY25, and paints a strong growth outlook for H2, given the outlook for rate cuts from the RBA. Across the metrics, REA Group beat consensus expectations across all but one, where DPS rose 26.4% to 110 cents per share, was just short of expectations. And another company that impressed investors with strong results and ties into the REA Group through its 61% ownership in the company is News Corp. The leading global mass media and publishing company released Q2 FY25 results later in the week, including a 5% increase in revenues to $2.24 billion, driven by growth in the digital REA estate services, Dow Jones and book publishing segments. News Corp also reported net income from continuing operations rose 58% in Q2 to $306 million, and they announced the agreement to sell Foxtel to Darzn for 3.4 billion Australian dollars and enterprise value for that amount, and posted a Q2 total segment EBITDA of $478 million, up 20% on the prior corresponding period. Being headquartered in the US and earning in the USD, this drives tailwinds for the company to continue capitalising on the strong USD of late. All in all, while we are very early in the reporting season for the first half of FY25, so far it looks surprisingly strong for those that have released results, suggesting across the board the outlook for single-digit earnings growth, which was alluded to last year, was a conservative guide given the headwinds faced. Next week, reporting on the reporting season calendar, we will analyse and digest the results out of JB Hi-Fi, CSL, AGL, CBA, Suncorp, Treasury Wine Estates, Insurance Australia Group, QBE Insurance, Magellan Financial and Mirvac Group, among others. Be sure to stay tuned for our reporting season video coverage every Wednesday during the reporting season to stay up to date with the latest results and investor reactions. Locally, from Monday to Thursday, the ASX 200 posted a loss of 0.14% as a sharp sell-off in healthcare and consumer staples stocks weighed on strong gains posted by the tech and materials sectors. The markets this week were sold off amid economic uncertainty surrounding Trump's tariffs and concerns over a US-China trade war impacting local market stability. The winning stocks on the ASX 200 this week were led by News Corp jumping 10.16%, Vault Minerals adding 7.7% and Regis Resources rallying 7.52%. On the losing end, Zipco fell 11.07%, Fisher & Paykel Healthcare dropped 8.8% and IDP Education ended the week down 8.62%. On the broader market index, the All Ords fell just 0.05% this week as a 20% loss for Doug Technology and near 18% loss for Paradigm Biopharmaceuticals offset Predictive Discovery's 30% rally. The most traded stocks by Bell Direct clients this week were CBA, BHP, Life360, Appen and Fortescue. Clients also bought into EBR Systems or taking profits from Neuren, NAB, Westpac and Qantas. And the most traded ETFs this week were led by Vanguard Ethically Conscious Australian Shares ETF, iShares S&P 500 AUD ETF and Vanguard US Total Market Shares Index AUD ETF. On the economic calendar front next week, we may see investors react to Westpac consumer confidence data for February in Australia out on Tuesday and NAB business confidence data also out on Tuesday locally. Overseas key inflation data will be released in the US from Wednesday to Friday next week, including core inflation rate, total inflation rate, PPI data and retail sales figures for January, which will all play a part in the Fed's rate outlook and pathway for a further rate cut in the future. And that's all for this week. Have a wonderful weekend and happy investing.